What's good, YouTube? It's your boy King Rose back again, once again, with another video classic. And today, niggas, everybody want to trip about the nigga Carmelo. Now, one thing I do want to say is, with the Carmelo Anthony going to OKC trade, the one thing that I can say about this trade is that OKC is now a title contender. And honestly, if you would ask me, I would say OKC is better than the Cavs. They better than the Cavs. Stop playing. You talk about Isaiah Thomas Russell, Paul George, Kevin Love, LeBron James, Melo. Okay, the only thing that they won right there was LeBron James, Melo. And really, I'd say LeBron James, Paul George. You feel me? Because I think Melo is better than Kevin Love. But when I really look at this trade, sending New York, Enes Kanter, Doug McDermott, second round pick, I think that was a good trade for the Knicks. I want to get that out the way first. Because with the Knicks building around Porzingis, I think that they always kind of just wanted a big man to go alongside Porzingis to help him out. You got Porzingis playing inside out. You got Enes Kanter post game doing this thing like that. So in the standpoint of with Ntilikina, Tim Hardaway Jr., Doug McDermott, Porzingis, and Enes Kanter, I think that's a solid young building block lineup for them to go ahead and get draft pieces. Because honestly, you could say for the past 5 years, Melo had no reason being on that team, and then that team had no reason not being the top 3, top 5 pick every fucking year. You know what I'm saying? They could have been the ones getting Lonzo or De'Aaron Fox. You know what I'm saying? Ben Simmons and Brandon Ingram and D'Angelo Russell. Like, they should have been in that run. But because y'all had Melo, y'all boxed that up. You fucked that up. So, on the New York Knicks side, I'm happy for the Knicks being able to actually get rid of Melo and move forward with their future. You know what I'm saying? They can start, be a young team. Everybody who play with the Knicks know they're playing with a young team. So, when you pick the Knicks, they go pick, you know what I'm saying, Chicago or Denver or whatever young team they want to. Now, on the Carmelo Anthony to OKC side, with Paul George, Carmelo, Russell Westbrook, I say that big three can go up against anybody. And just when everybody was saying that Houston Rockets might have been that breakout team, and here I was, you know, saying that I don't really see that working because Steph Curry owns Chris Paul. And then James Harden is pretty much the kind of guy who he's going to choke himself out. Like, you know, I think James Harden has the most swag on the court as far as dribble moves, getting to the rim, getting his spot. You know, he's not necessarily the most athletic. He's not flying down doing the craziest dunks, dunking all over people. He's finessing you around. So with Houston, I kind of figured like they'd be like a top 4 team. You know, everybody's saying number 2. I see top 4. So now when I look at OKC with Paul George, who's a great defender, Carmelo Anthony, not a great defender, but a great ISO scorer, catch and shoot scorer. So I think that'll bode well with. I look at it like this. If you would have paired Russell Westbrook up with Carmelo and or Paul George, I say that's a good trade for both sides because now Russell can go one-on-one, and if he want to kick out, he can always kick out to a Carmelo Anthony who's going to knock down that jump shot. When you think about playing 2K, when you play 2K, you basically say, this is what's going to happen, and this is how I see this playing out. Russell Westbrook is pretty much going to be the driving kicker, driving attacker. Paul George is going to be a ball handling attacker, similar to what Russell's doing, pick and roll, getting to the rim, laying up, dunking all over people. I can see Russell and Paul George pretty much playing the same. Russell really winning the numbers because Russell is the best player on the best team. Well, not the best team on that team. He's the best player on that team. Don't get it twisted, okay? Go to state. We ain't worried about nothing. And then you look at what Carmelo Anthony is going to be able to do. Carmelo Anthony should be the guy to take the hit. Carmelo Anthony should be the guy to take a step back because Carmelo Anthony is a better catch-and-shoot player. When you play 2K with Carmelo Anthony, it's not really likely for you to be playing with Carmelo Anthony, you dribbling, trying to rock the defender and then sliding pot. With Carmelo Anthony, you pretty much on 2K, you're playing either pick and roll where you slide across the screen real quick, pulling up, or you catch and shoot, pulling up, or you just going to the rim and daring somebody to block the shot because it is Carmelo Anthony. So when I say the state of them, I say those Oklahoma City Thunder is going to play the Minnesota Timberwolves in the playoffs. And sadly, I believe that the Minnesota Timberwolves is better than OKC. Okay, so when I break it down, I say the top 4 teams in the Western Conference is going to lead with Golden State winning 70 games. Number 2, I think number 2 will be most likely San Antonio again, because it's too much adjustment, it's too many what ifs with both Houston and OKC, because for the first 20, 30 games of the season, they're going to be figuring it out. Russell Westbrook is turnover prone, so they're going to need a minute to figure it out. And same thing with OKC. James Harden is turnover prone. Now, although Chris Paul isn't turnover prone, the fact that those are your 2 primary ball handlers and they're going to have to create the offense for everybody, James Harden's still going to have those turnovers, and Russell's still going to have his turnovers. So turnovers is going to still be the same. The only thing that you're really looking forward to not being the same is points and rebounds for both, James and Russell, because rebounding wise, you got Paul George, you got Carmelo Anthony, who both can rebound the ball at a high rate. And then for OKC, not for OKC, but for Houston, really Houston, I think they're going to struggle with rebounding this year, because you give up a lot of your size. You got Clint Capella. I think Nene's no longer on the team. But as far as their bigs go, they're going to need some help down low. So that's why I think the Spurs is going to stick with that number 2 spot. I think number 3 could be Oklahoma City. Number 4 will be Houston. Number 5 will probably be a sleeper team. And I think number 6 would be Minnesota, because for Minnesota is in the same boat with Celtics, with Houston, with OKC. They all have to rebuild a chemistry and a camaraderie amongst the teammates and to make themselves a championship team. So I really feel like it's not going to happen as quickly. It's not going to happen like Golden State did. And then, to be honest with you, it's like, let's talk about the doubts. Everybody thought that because it was one ball that Golden State wouldn't work when they just came out and won the championship first year. One thing that you have to realize is with Steph Curry and both Kevin Durant, those are your primary ball handler and scorers. That's 1A, 1B scorer ball handler. And Draymond Green is your wild card. Klay Thompson is your spot-up shooter. So when you bring out a lineup with JaVale, or you bring out a def lineup with Iguodala, you bring out Swaggy P and all these different weapons coming off the bench, that's the one thing that Houston, OKC, and both Minnesota all have in common. They don't have no fucking bench. So when I look at Golden State, there's no worries. It's going to be Golden State and Cleveland probably again for the 4th time. And it's going to be the same fucking reaction it was last time. You know what? They might actually get swept this time, because LeBron James is out of Cleveland, okay? Isaiah Thomas, Derrick Rose, Jay Crowder is not enough to keep LeBron James. You failed to get Paul George. You failed to get Jimmy Butler. You failed to get Carmelo Anthony. So really, I want to give, although you did get Isaiah Thomas in a clear-cut trade for Kyrie Irving is better than Isaiah Thomas. So Cleveland, y'all lost this offseason, bro. And for the Western Conference, all y'all dumb as hell, because now you're in a situation where you can legit say that Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, Jimmy Butler are all fighting for a front court playoff position. And you still have to worry about DeMarcus Cousins. You still have to worry about Russell, CP3, James, Clay, Draymond, Boogie, AD, Jokic, you got Paul Millsap that came to the Western Conference. So it's a lot of competition there. And honestly, I don't understand why all these players want to team up and go to the Western Conference when the Eastern Conference is wide open. As soon as Kyrie Irving left Cleveland, everybody should have been super teaming on the Eastern Conference. This just goes back to my further notion as to why I don't understand why people hate the Warriors so much and hate Kevin Durant so much, when Kevin Durant took his talents off of one team, took him to this team. So really, OKC fans, I don't want to hear no more nagging or complaining from y'all niggas, because y'all took Kevin Durant, hated Kevin Durant. Y'all wanted Russell to win every time he played Kevin Durant, and now he has Paul George and Carmelo Anthony. So I don't want to hear shit else about no damn Kevin Durant, especially after Isaiah Thomas played in the game after his sister died for the Boston Celtics, and y'all trade him for Kyrie, who, according to everybody, is the same player. So what loyalty do Boston have? So, like I say, I'm off that. OKC, I give OKC a 3 seed. They're going to play 6-seeded Minnesota in the first round, and Karl Anthony Towns, Jimmy Butler, and Andrew Wiggins is going to really go crazy on them niggas. And I only say that because with Carmelo Anthony, I want Carmelo to win. I like Paul George. And Melo. Those was like my 2 favorite players on the Eastern Conference. But playing with Russell, I don't think it's gonna work because Russell, you just had James Harden, KD, Ibaka. I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? They not at the level that they are now. And okay, I get it. Paul George and Carmelo Anthony is something that we never seen before. But at the same time, what is really going to change about Russell's play style and Oklahoma City's culture? Their culture is to get back at the Warriors. You know, okay, I give them 2 games. They'll probably win 2 games in the playoffs. Okay, it's not gonna be 4-4-4-4. So what is it that you accomplish really? But y'all know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. Go to State versus everybody. Don't let nobody tell you nothing different. And if they tell you something different, tell them to come find me, Kingroze, and I'll make them a believer. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, MVP. Fuck you mean?